Good afternoon and welcome to the News Channel 9 Stream Center. We are experiencing some technical difficulties at our News Channel 9 studio today. So we wanted to come to you in a little bit of a different way to bring you the top stories of the day. This is our News Channel 9 Stream Center. We use it when we stream live to YouTube, to Facebook, to X. And so today we're using it to stream live over the air, to continue to bring you these important top stories, as well as your StormTrack 9 forecast in the event, like I said, that we are experiencing some technical difficulties. So one of the top stories of the day: Andre Greer, a man who has been on trial in the 2016 murder of Bianca Horton, was found guilty on all charges against him today. I want to bring in, if I can, our reporter, Lily Butler, right after we take a listen to some of the pieces said in court today by both the prosecution and the defense. Let's listen to that from the Andre Greer trial today.
It was mostly empty. There was a lot of dirt on the floor of the van, but no rear seats, so the back was completely open.
Cross gangs, it's common within urban culture, street culture, gang culture, that you don't testify against gangs, you don't talk about gangs, because you could be labeled as a rat or snitch and you potentially be killed. Everything indicated that Baptist Park Bloods were solely responsible for the murder of Bianca Horton.
But she was strong in truth. And she was strong knowing she was doing the right thing.
That way. But we don't convict people because we think that way. That's the reason why we have juries of citizens. Because
let her truth ring loud and clear from this courtroom and beyond to the streets of Hamilton County.
So I'm going to bring in now Lily Butler. She has been covering the trial all week. Lily, talk about what the courtroom was like when those guilty verdicts were read against Andre Greer today.
Yeah, hey guys. So very much an energy shift today after closing arguments got finished up yesterday. A lot more people filling the gallery today. And what's happening right now is they're actually on about a 10-minute break, but we've been hearing from family members of Bianca Horton as the jury gets ready to decide Andre Greer's fate. Also hearing from some of Greer's family members talking about his upbringing and how that might have impacted him. Bianca Horton's family talking about how her murder has impacted them. So we're just hearing a few more impact statements ahead of the jury deciding Greer's fate. But like you talked about, they did earlier this morning charge him guilty on all 5 counts, including first-degree premeditated murder. And so now the sentence that he's facing could either be life in prison with the possibility of parole, life in prison without the possibility of parole, and also the death penalty is one of those options. So we're just kind of in a period here where we're waiting for the jury to be handed that sentencing, for them to make a decision on that. But definitely lots more family members and friends present in the courtroom today. And even yesterday in closing statements, prosecutor Amy Wyrick told the jury, this courtroom feels different. And that's certainly something that we felt over the last couple of days as this trial ends.
And Lily, this is the same jury, correct, that convicted him. Now they go into a different stage, into the sentencing phase, and they determine the sentence he will face. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. So earlier this morning, like we said, they found Andre Greer guilty of all of those 5 charges. And now that same group of people will decide whether he spends life in prison with or without parole or faces the death penalty.
And like we've seen throughout this trial, there are safety concerns. Obviously, this whole trial is about a witness being murdered for her willingness to testify. Um, Talk a little bit about what are some of the precautions the judge has taken, and in turn we have taken to protect the identities of the people inside.
Yeah, certainly heavy security surrounding this and protection of witnesses, which are called lay witnesses. And that's essentially, citizens and civilians testifying, whether they've been, subpoenaed to be there or not. And so as far as, law enforcement officers and experts in this case, we are allowed to broadcast their name and image and voice. But as far as the lay witnesses go, we have not, we've been instructed not to, use any of their voice, any name, anything that could identify them or any of the other witnesses saying their name, just for their protection and I guess comfort as well. The judge has also been, notifying those witnesses as they take the stand that, hey, the media is prohibited from using, your voice or your name. And as well as the jury, that's typical, but this has been just increased security and increased measures to protect the jury and those lay witnesses. And then, anytime the media has a question, we've been instructed to approach the judge and ask him. So we've done that several times throughout this trial. Any question that we have, if we're unsure about something, better safe than sorry, we just go up to Judge Patterson and ask.
Yeah, and what you're seeing on your screen right now is a law enforcement witness. He's a former CPD gang expert, and typically we show all witnesses in all cases. So it's like we're taking our viewers inside the courtroom. In this case, more precautions, so the only people you are seeing all are those law enforcement witnesses, people that are FBI, our CPD, our other you know parts like that, so that the people who are just random someone who saw something, people that are family members, again, like Lily said, not being shown in this case as an extra precaution. Lily, we know that you will keep us up to date when that jury comes back with a sentence. So thank you so much for keeping us updated on this very important trial in Chattanooga.
Yeah, Latricia, I'm expecting, for hear something soon. So I think we'll be back in there in the next 5 minutes or so, and then we'll have some updates for you guys. But I'm also posting on Facebook, so make sure you follow me for those updates. I've been pretty active on there, keeping everyone updated. So,
all right, Lily, thanks so much for your
thanks,
information
Latricia.
today. All right, let's talk about another big story of the day. Moving now to Cleveland and Bradley County. Cleveland police identified not only the two victims in the shooting at the Barku Plastics plant yesterday as two plant supervisors, but also the suspect that they say was in the midst of being fired before he went in and shot those two men at the plastics plant. Alex Guyevich-Protich has our update from Cleveland today.
This Barku plant on Monday morning where police say a former employee shot and killed two supervisors. Now a GoFundMe has been set up for those victims, saying, quote, Ivan and Tobias were more than co-workers. They were family. Their laughter, dedication, and compassion touched everyone who knew them. According to Barku Plastics' website, Ivan Aldergo was the company's vice president. Tobias Gleinek's girlfriend says he was a production manager. Cleveland police say they were targeted by a former employee who was in the process of being fired.
SWAT's been notified. They should be getting their stuff together and getting en route.
Cleveland police say they identify that suspect as 38-year-old Kyle Crandall.
10-4, we're out here with county. They're rolling their SWAT team up to get staged and ready. We've got it surrounded right now.
You can hear part of the 6-hour standoff outside Crandall's home play out on Broadcastify. Police say inside they discovered Crandall's body, dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Could we get a MARC unit at the Westview and Samples Chapel to keep the traffic from coming south on this road?
From Bradley County, this is Alex Guyevich-Protich, News Channel 9.
All right, so that was our update from Bradley County from Alex Guyevich Protich. Again, Cleveland Police today identifying both the suspect, who they are calling an employee who was in the midst of being fired, and the two victims, supervisors, a vice president and a production manager at that plastics plant. Now, another big story today, the Volkswagen union is voting whether or not to go on strike at the Chattanooga VW plant. News Channel 9's Ray Collado has that story for us, and let's take a look at that.
Is a baby crying, a mom holding her.
Oh, that's actually the wrong story there. Again, we're going as we can here. Let's bring in Ray to talk about that. Ray, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you okay, Latricia. Can you hear me?
Yep. Ray, are you seeing people go in to vote at this UAW location there that's being used as a voting site today?
Yes, earlier today you could still see some UAW members over there filing in to vote. Everyone's putting in their ballot to see if they want to give the UAW the authorization for a strike. So what that means, this doesn't necessarily mean a strike will happen, but it gives the UAW the authorization to call for one if they deem it worthy. So that's an important note here. But yeah, we're here at Embassy Suites, where after about a year of negotiation, the UAW says they're finally looking at putting up a vote for authorization to see if a strike is on the table for them or not.
Gotcha. And you just spoke to an expert who kind of went over with you what the strike could mean. What did you learn from that?
Yeah, he tells me while these strike authorizations aren't pretty common, the whole point of it is a bargaining chip for the UAW members. So, however, he does know it's a double-edged sword, because if they go into this vote and let's say theoretically 100% of its members say, yes, we give you the authorization to strike, then that gives UAW a big bargaining chip to the VW, telling them, hey, if we walk, everyone else is coming with us. On the flip side, if let's say 60% of their members say, no, we don't want to strike, then that puts them at a severe disadvantage when it comes to that negotiation table with the VW. So it's a risk and reward here, but given that they're saying they're pushing this, UAW members tell me they're confident that they will get that 2/3 of a vote needed to get this pushed through. But it's only a matter of time. Voting will only be from today to tomorrow. So this time tomorrow, we should have our answer on that outcome on if they're getting that voted need passes through.
Okay, Ray, we do have that story that you filed today ready. Let's take a look at that.
We don't have to utilize a strike, but if we have to, we will.
In this video, you can see UAW members file in as they get ready to vote on giving the union the authorization to call a strike. But what does a strike look like for the UAW and its members? According to the UAW, for strike authorization to be granted to them, at least 2/3 of its members must check yes on that vote box.
For right now, to get this contract closed, we're looking at job security, health care, cost of living adjustments, and then dignity and respect in the workplace.
We reached out to Volkswagen, who didn't respond. But in a previous statement we received, they told us in part, quote, "We are disappointed the UAW chose to call a strike authorization vote before giving our employees a say on our strong final offer that was on the table. We encourage every employee to participate in this strike authorization vote and let the union know a strike is not the answer."
All right, that was our update from the potential strike at VW as they go there, the employees who are a member of that union, to vote whether they want to authorize that strike or not. We are going to take a quick break from our News Channel 9 Stream Center here. And then after the break, we will bring in David Glenn with a look at your StormTrack 9 forecast. Halloween coming up pretty soon. Will those kids need a coat or an umbrella? David will be sure to tell us.